throughout the long and difficult period of Watergate, I have felt it was my duty to persevere, to make every possible effort to complete the term of office to which you elected me. In the past few days, however, it has become evident to me that I no longer have a strong enough political base in the Congress to justify continuing that effort.
All right, folks, welcome to Gimme Five. We end the show, we end the week with the end of the Nixon presidency. 40 years ago, President Nixon took to the airwaves, made this resignation speech, which was effective the next day at noon. And that's when, of course, he went off in the helicopter and gave the infamous wave. And it was a very, very, very important moment in American history. And when you look back on this man, I really believe that he did what he thought was for the betterment and of the country at the time. Here's more.
As long as there was such a base, I felt strongly that it was necessary to see the constitutional process through to its conclusion, that to do otherwise would be unfaithful to the spirit of that deliberately difficult process and a dangerously destabilizing precedent for the future. But with the disappearance of that base, I now believe that the constitutional purpose has been served, and there is no longer a need for the process to be prolonged.
That's because Republicans went to him and said, Mr. President, it's time. Mr. President, you need to resign. Would that ever happen today? And I'm not calling for Barack Obama to resign. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, would that ever happen today in today's political reality? Is today's real political world, political reality, has it changed so much from then in 40 years that something like that would be impossible today? I don't know. I don't know. Here's more.
I would have preferred to carry through to the finish, whatever the personal agony it would have involved. And my family unanimously urged me to do so. But the interests of the nation must always come before any personal considerations. From the discussions I have had with congressional and other leaders, I have concluded that because of the Watergate matter, I might not have the support of the Congress that I would consider necessary to back the very difficult decisions and carry out the duties of this office in the way the interests of the nation will require.
Yeah, and he certainly did not have it. And, you could say he stepped down because he felt he'd be impeached, and that could absolutely be true. But he also, I believe, did not want to put the country through that because it was, as it always is, turbulent times around the world and in the country. More.
I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first. America needs a full-time president and a full-time Congress, particularly at this time with problems we face at home and abroad. To continue to fight through the months ahead for my personal vindication would almost totally absorb the time and attention of both the President and the Congress in a period when our entire focus should be on the great issues of peace abroad and prosperity without inflation at home.
Yep, and here is the final part.
Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour.
You know, we haven't lived through anything like that since, and hopefully we won't live through anything like that again. But that was very, very powerful stuff 40 years ago on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax Television.